What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here. I got a little something different for you today. I've been doing a lot of thinking about 2005. Why 2005? Because that is the year the Xbox 360 was announced. And since we're getting all these new consoles this November, it's just kind of made me think of all the stuff that's happened in the 8 years since the last big launch of the console. So 2005 was really exciting because we got a new Xbox 360, we got the new Xbox, that happened in 2005, and just a year away in 2006 were the release of the Nintendo Wii and the PS3. So it was a really exciting time. It felt very similar for gamers as the time we're going through right now. So 8 years is a super long time for a technology to remain relevant. And the Xbox 360 has done that to a very impressive degree. It has not only remained relevant, but it's also a very popular and very good selling console to this day. And it's about to get replaced and obsoleted by the Xbox One, and I thought it'd be fun to go back in time and look at some of the other technology that was popular when the Xbox 360 was released, as well as some other pop culture stuff. So let's get into it. When the Xbox 360 came out, I wanted to look at some of the PC games and PC specs that you needed to run them at the time were, and what I came up with were Battlefield 2 was released in 2005. It was actually released in May of 2005, and the minimum specs to run this game was actually a 1.5 gigahertz Pentium 4. So that doesn't sound like such a slow processor speed. I mean, it's slow by today's standards, but remember, this was a single core processor. This isn't a dual core, 4-core, or even 6-core processor like you get in a PC today. It needed a GeForce 9100. That's a real old school video card, and 1 gigabyte of RAM. Now you can't even find a PC that comes with less than 4 gigs. Quake 4 was also released in 2005. That needed 2.8 gigahertz P4, which is actually a pretty damn good processor by the day's standards. Only 512 megabytes of RAM, but it needed a GeForce 9400, which was pretty high-end at the time. There was some other technology that was out at the time too. Now you gotta remember this was 2 years before the iPhone got originally announced, so I thought it'd be fun to show you kind of the high-end smartphone. This is a Palm Trio. So if you've ever heard of a Palm Trio, this thing had a physical keyboard. It was similar to a BlackBerry. You could get it running either Palm software or Windows Mobile, and that was an awful experience, I can tell you firsthand. Speaking of Apple, they were in the height of the popularity with the iPod. They had just released the iPod Nano version 2. So this thing was pretty cool at the time. Very small flash memory music player. They also came out with the 5th generation iPod. This is the one I ended up with. This was the first iPod that you could play video on. Now you could only play it on the 2.5-inch screen, but it was pretty impressive. It was also impressive because it was the first device that I ever owned that I could put in my pocket that would hold all the pictures, all the digital pictures I'd ever taken. So if you're using a cell phone or a digital camera at the time, you could load all those pictures on your iPod and take them with you. That was the first for me. In 2005, Apple also came out with the first generation iMac, and as you can see, it's changed quite a bit since it was first released. It's a good thing that Apple was releasing these iPods, though, because radio was going through a particularly awful stretch. Things on the radio that were really popular were things like Holla Back Girl by Gwen Stefani. I don't know if you remember that one, but man, it was repetitive. Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson was real big. She had just come off of her win on American Idol. And Don't Ya by the Pussycat Dolls. As far as I can tell, these girls were just strippers who decided to join a band. On TV, Lost was in full swing. The American version of The Office started in 2005, which I found interesting because that actually just ended last year. And Stephen Colbert's spin-off of The Daily Show started up, aptly named The Colbert Report. That actually started in 2005 as well. I found that to be fairly interesting. If you were a movie fan, 2005 was absolutely killing it for you. We got Sin City, V for Vendetta, the first of the Batman trilogy by Christopher Nolan, which was Batman Begins, Star Wars Episode 3, The Wedding Crashers, The Island, Fantastic Four, Serenity, Brokeback Mountain, Hard Candy, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Oh man, it was a great year for movies. I remember actually having a great year. So that is kind of where technology and pop culture were at in 2005 when the Xbox 360 came out. It'll be fun to take a snapshot of 2013 and kind of remember that when the next generations of consoles come out. There's been a lot of talk that maybe this would be the last generation of consoles, but don't be fooled. There was a lot of talk like that when the Super Nintendo came out, and when the original Xbox came out, and when the Xbox 360 came out. Just like there's always been talk of the PC is dead for gaming. So don't listen to any of it. This was just a quick snapshot of 2005. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me what you remember from 2005, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.